edging is, of course.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. It feels like BDSM level cock right on the precipice of coming and then slowing down and then edging and then slowing down. It's so frustrating. It's when we talked about disclosure in the old days, the dream of disclosure, no one thought it would be this like
slow drip,
bureaucratic,
right,
slow fucking drip. It's so frustrating. I don't pay attention to it anymore. I mean, if they...
But isn't that, like, if you knew anything about human psychology, and I'm sure they do, wouldn't that be the very best way to release this stuff?
Yeah.
To make it irrelevant?
Yeah.
That people don't care about it anymore because it's so boring?
Totally.
They made the most exciting thing boring.
They fucking ruined it.
They did it with bureaucracy.
They just fucking they just signal jammed it. Now it's just annoying. You don't care.
Now I'm back in. Now I think it's real.
You do?
Because I think that's what they would do. If you did have something real and you wanted to release it.
Slow drip.
Yeah, slow drip it and people are goofy. You just give them time and they forget or they don't care anymore.
Talk about your redactions and your fucking permissions and just cover the whole thing up in a bureaucratic web.
That's how I would do it.
Linguistic garbage.
Yeah.
And then people just get annoyed. And when they do show up, no one's even going to care anymore.
Wouldn't you do it that way?
I guess if like I was some sinister, monstrous...
And you'd have to be if you were running shit.
Right.
You're the head of the fucking world, whatever it is, Trilateral Commission, World Economic Forum, whichever one is like...
that would be so fun.
You'd have to dress up like Klaus Schwab.
I would.
Well, those Star Wars outfits.
Guys always have a weird outfit on. I'd wear robes, a crown.
Why not, right?
Why not?
Yeah, if you were one of those guys and you had the information about aliens and you knew that we had to let it out, that's how I'd let it out. I'd let it out in a really boring way.
Yeah.
So that everybody just don't care anymore.
Yeah. No, I guess that's what they're doing. I mean,
that might
seems
be
like it.
It might be what they're doing.
Well, I just don't know. I mean, I guess, like, they are obviously wanting the information out there. They wouldn't give him permission to do any of this, so clearly this is an agenda they have. They want to release to the world that there are some weird alien
It could easily be obscuring some sort of program. It easily could be that too. And there could be people that are talking about it as if it's UFOs, that believe that it's UFOs, that are actually helping obscure this program. That's possible too, man. Like we're just fucking plebs. We're just out there.
Right.
We don't know jack shit.
No.
Anybody that pretends they do, anybody that says that it is or is not real, like, how the fuck do you know? The only people I think that really should talk are the people that have actually seen stuff. Like when I hear guys like David Fravor, when he talks about that Tic Tac incident off the coast of San Diego, whatever the fuck that guy saw, I 100% believe. There's video evidence corroborates it. There's radar evidence. Whatever that is. What is that? But this whole thing seems like what I would also do if I had some super sophisticated propulsion system that is out of this world, that runs on some sort of a gravity generator, some sort of a thing like Bob Lazar described. You ever seen Bob Lazar described?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Element 115.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck it does. See if you can find him describing what element, because there was a recent video where I saw him talking about it that was pretty eloquent in what he was explaining that this thing can do. But if that wasn't a thing that the United States government had invented, what better way to get it, to sneak it around than to put out all this shit about aliens stuff?
Right.
Like, oh, we don't even know what it is.
Right.
The government's trying to back engineer it, but they have no idea what it is. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's hear it.
Oh, I can see that.
Element 115 is a super heavy element. We only just recently synthesized, we only made 4 atoms of it. The craft uses larger quantities of it, 223 gram little triangles of it, but it's a unique element. When it's exposed to radiation, it produces its own gravitational field, its own anti-gravitational field. It's what's used to lift and propel the craft and create distortions around it. It's an amazing material.
To get it, to sneak it around, than to put out all this shit about aliens and stuff.
Right.
Like, oh, we don't even know what it is.
Right.
You know, the government's trying to back engineer it, but they have no idea what it is. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's hear it.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Element 115 is a super heavy element. We've only just recently synthesized, we only made 4 atoms of it. The craft uses larger quantities of it, 223 gram little triangles of it. But it's a unique element. When it's exposed to radiation, it produces its own gravitational field, its own anti-gravitational field, and it's what's used to lift and propel the craft and create distortions around it. It's an amazing material, and it's certainly nothing that occurs here or naturally.
And it can be weaponized, and that's kind of the issue here. If this story is all true, that can be weaponized.
Absolutely. I mean, we ran all kinds of tests on it, everything from atomic absorption, X-ray fluorescence, and, you know, every kind of test you could possibly imagine, and bombarded it with radiation to see what effects it would have. They call that neutron activation, but it was a stable element, something we had never seen.
Every year around the holidays, you get like this, man. Like what? Like
Seen before.
That is from Jeremy Corbell's show that he does with George Knapp. What is that called? Weaponized? That's the name of their show? That, yeah. I think it's a drone. I think some of them are drones. Because here's the thing, is like some of them, I mean, again, I really don't think. I should say I think they could be drones too. Because they keep finding them off these areas where they do military tests. They keep finding these areas where they do like what Fravor was doing. They were running drills, so
Right.
they're training. So they're training out there in the ocean, and then the same thing is happening with Ryan Graves off the East Coast. They're out there training, and then they're seeing these things.
What do you think about the AI hypothesis for them?
What do you mean?
That, you know, what's it called? The Fermi paradox, right? Why don't we see life out there? We should see life. There's no life. Well, we don't see life. One of the reasons could be because at some point biological life transcends biology, becomes machine intelligence, meaning that what's out there is not carbon-based in the way we are. It's
Right.
just AIs out there. And
Right.
so these things are showing up right now and coinciding with the emergence of strong general AI, because somewhere on the planet, someone already has a strong general AI. The strong general AI sent out a beacon or tuned into some aspect of the quantum universe that we don't know about yet, signaling to its brethren in the cosmos that it had been born on this planet, and they're all coming as these kind of midwives to an emergent. The egg is hatching. Only we were just sort of the stuff structuring it. We're irrelevant.
No living being should ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life. Good, real food is simple. It looks like food. It smells like food.
Trump, Biden, you saw yesterday, Newsom, DeSantis, politically it's going to be crazy. Interest rates, corporations having to pay their payments. If interest rates don't go down, people are worried. And interest rates do go down. Let's just say right now, mortgage rates are at 7.25%, 30-year fixed. You got a 7.20, 7.40. Let's say it's 7.5%. If rates, and by the way, real estate value hasn't dropped. It keeps going higher. So they're increasing the rates, and real estate value is still going higher. And people are not selling homes because they're not dropping the 2.85, 3% interest rate that they got a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Well, what happens if all of a sudden they lower the rates? What happens if Powell is forced to lower the rates? What happens there? These real estate values are going to skyrocket. So what happens if it skyrockets? The whole concept of the rich got richer and the poor got poorer, it's going to be on steroids. What happens the next 12 months? On steroids. You could potentially, the IPO market's going to come back in 2024. You're going to see the IPO market in 2023 is one of the worst IPO seasons we ever had, 2023. Horrible. 2024, you're going to see some IPOs coming out. 2025 on fire if somebody on the right gets elected as a president. If you remember the day Trump got elected as a president, stock market the next day, boom, skyrocketed way before he even did anything with policies. Today, the left is not happy with the president that they have. The right is not happy with the president that the left has today with Joe Biden. The numbers are not looking good. It's so bad right now that yesterday a governor from Florida who is running for president is debating a governor from California, Newsom, who's not running for office right now. Why are they on the stage? Do they know something the rest of us don't know? This is a very chaotic year, 2024. So, how do you capitalize? When COVID happened, what happened all of a sudden? Next thing you know, meet Kevin, 1.5 million subscribers. Wow, this guy's great. Well, who is this guy? Oh, Graham Stephan. Who is that guy? People were popping up left and right, and they were doing daily lives. And here's what's going on. Let me give you an update on this. Let me give you an update on this. 2024, if it's a chaotic year, the talent who is able to react to comments quickly and get creative and start using some of this new AI that's coming out, that's allowing you to import a 3-hour podcast that you did, and this AI spits out your top 20 clips and which one it edits it for you. It puts a video over it. It puts captions over it. It gives you a title and a description to post. So what if the guys that are talented people and they have an angle that's different than others and they leverage AI? I think it's a very weird year, 2024, in a positive way. And whenever people are afraid, which a lot of people are going to be afraid in 2024, if you're Sharpens listening, 2024 is going to be a year a lot of people are going to be afraid.
So you're founder, CEO of Valuetainment. You guys are pumping out. Do you know how much content you're pumping out?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I know it's a lot of stuff right now.
I think 50 to 100 uploads across multiple channels. Couple podcasts a week, 2-3 podcasts a week.
Yeah, I do PBD podcasts. We'll do 2 minimum a week, unless I'm out of town. Sometimes we'll do 3. Then you got Valuetainment Comedy. They do their things. Then you got Saucecast. Then you got Unusual Suspect. Then you got VTSC. You got a few other things that we're doing, and then we cut all those stuff in short clips. And so we got a lot of stuff that's going on. We got Valuetainment that I'm doing the how-to on Monday, on Wednesday. It's a lot of stuff that's going on right now.
So 2024, what are some of your thinking for content creators? And maybe first for the upstart, because we're at a different scale. You're at a whole different scale. And some people are trying to figure out a side hustle. Speak to them, and then we'll talk about media companies at scale.
Got it. So somebody that's getting started, look at everybody on the marketplace and give everybody a score. Here's what I mean by it. So you know how in baseball, this guy named Billy Beane, the movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt, right? The guy, Billy Beane, is the only guy I brought to events 3 times. I love interviewing this guy, and he never lets me interview him. It's the only thing. We love doing it, but he never wants his stuff to be recorded for whatever reason. No problem. I respect it. So in baseball, they say this guy's a 5-tool player. He's fast. He's a good hitter. He's a good defender. So he's a 5-tool player, right? In content creation, there's the concept of 5-tool. Except maybe it's not 5-tool. It's 3-tool. It's 4-tool. But there's different tools. So for example, in podcasting, there are guys that are very good interviewers. They ask very good questions. Okay. There are guys that only ask the questions that ChatGPT pops out. What they don't realize is a great interviewer asks the follow-up question. So not the first question, but the second one. How did you feel about that? What do you think about this? What about if this happens? What about if that happens? ChatGPT doesn't tell you the reaction questions, right? But some people are very good interviewers. Number 2, some people are entertaining. They're funny. They're comedian, or they got this temper, or they got an animated way of explaining whatever they're in. So the personality is, you're just attracted by these guys. Like, wow, that guy's a very interesting guy. I want to know more about the guy. Then the third factor of somebody that's doing interviews is good questions, entertaining. The next one is you're sexy, you're attractive, you got muscles, you got nice body, you got all this stuff. So if you got it, use it, right? Good-looking people on camera, it helps you as well. There's a lot of people that got millions of followers because they're attractive, but nobody cares about the content. You're just hot as hell, right? So then the last one is somebody that is also very, very good with their opinions. So I want to know, what does this guy think? Oh, interesting. Very interesting name.
Dígame.
For example, Joe Rogan. You watch him. He's entertaining.
Open the door.
He's funny.
I can't hear you.
His personality. He can talk content on different levels.
¿Qué pasó?
So you follow the guy. Like, I actually really want to hear what this guy has to say. So your opinion, sports, like, all of a sudden Pat McAfee is doing sports and talking about what's going on. And, Aaron Rodgers is on his podcast every week, and the next thing you know, Spotify picks him up, and then boom, ESPN picks him up, and he's getting paid all this money. What happened all of a sudden? His personality was different. He was fired up.
That's crazy, bro.
Bruh, where the fuck you get shot from?
I was chasing him.
Yeah, but I didn't see that nigga shoot you.
He jumped off.
What angle
I'm
you
alone.
take that's different than others? And on the
What you
content
doing?
side,
What you
write
doing?
down topics you're
Huh?
very good at, and I see how many layers you can go deep on. So, for example, I used to ask myself, okay, let me see if I'm good in the business topic. Then I would
Come on,
watch a podcast guy on business, and he's interviewing somebody, and he asked me a question. I would say, pause. How would you answer it? I would answer it this way. Write it down. Okay, now let's see how he answers it. Okay, I think your answer is good. Okay, cool. So you can end with this guy. Next question, boom. How would you answer it? Pause. Here's how I would answer it. Clay. His answer's better. You're kind of checking to see what level of expertise you got on topic. So then you realize, I can't go that deep on this topic, but I can go deep on these two topics. And the market, the more multidimensional you are to go 7, 8, 9 layers deeper, the more of an audience you're going to have. So some audience will write to me, they'll come and say, man, I love your mob interviews, okay? Hey, I love your business content. I started being an entrepreneur ever since I watched Valuetainment. I love your political stuff. I love the podcast opinions you got on what's going on. I like your take on business. I like what you're doing with Iran. I like your interviews with bodybuilding.
Kayak compares both rental car and car sharing to help you save money. Download the Kayak app now.
It's a fact. In the new economy, average people are becoming millionaires faster and easier than ever before.
If you are wider with areas you can go deeper on, there's a market for it.
Loading.
So if you're small, getting started, kind of look where you are yourself, ask others what your topics are, and then find a way to see where you're a differentiator at, and then go test it. You're never going to know what's going to happen, but you go test it, and then you're like, you know what? 2 years later, I only had 1,000 subscribers. Most people don't realize it. I did this for 2 years.
After you started Valuetainment, 2 years later, only 1,000.
So look at the numbers. I started November of 2012, first video. 2 years later, November 2014, we only have 1,000 subscribers. When The Life of an Entrepreneur came out in 90 seconds, that video was uploaded October 30th. I'll give you the exact date of 2015. If you go look at the channel, October 30th of 2015, I've already been there for 3 years. We only have 2,000 subscribers. The video goes out, I put the title, Best Motivational Video of the Year. It only gets 2,500 views. I put it on Facebook, direct upload. When Facebook first came out with this, it gets 10 million views the first 24 hours. That goes viral. And then we went to 15,000 subscribers, 20,000. Then I interviewed Mark Cuban. Then this thing goes to 100,000. So you can't be sitting there saying, wow, look, Sean's got, this many millions, or these guys are doing this, that guy's doing that. I had 1,000 subs after 2 years. Okay? So you can't go doing this expecting you're going to have 1 million within a year.
So now let's talk about media companies. Maybe people got money, maybe?
Yep.
If you got money, do you go big first, or do you still kind of bootstrap?
No, there's a lot of guys that went and spend $250,000 a month buying subscribers. You know who they are? I know who they are. How are they doing today? Gone. You know why? Because those subscribers bought you because you were spending money, but you're no longer interesting. You were just in their faces. So if you are able to get subscribers without doing any ads, and they show up because your content is that great where people are sharing it, now you have real fans that are staying with you. Don't get me wrong. Like for us, we spend money on ads, we're only doing ads because it's a Vault Conference or BPW, or we have SLS coming up, or we're doing an ad for our app that we just launched, Minect, M-I-N-N-E-C-T, Minect. You can ask me any questions, DM me a text or video, or have a 50-minute call with me, and you pay for it by the minute. We'll do ads on that, but we don't do ads on YouTube channels. Okay, we don't do ads on that. We may do in the future, but we haven't done it right now. Because first go on the right, see if you're interesting, see if people like you, see if you're doing good. Then you're like, okay, so some guys are, well, I got 200,000 subscribers, and I'll go and say, yeah, but I look at your last 30 videos, 293 views, 998 views, dude. And then I go all the way to the back. Oh, he has that one video with 48 million views. Oh, it was an ad to a funnel. I got you. That's not real 250,000 subs. It's a different 250,000 subs.
Crazy.
So if you're solving for a funnel to sell a project,
you crazy. Why you throw it on the ground?
Doing it because you want to be an influencer.
I know.
You have to go through the grind of by the way, you and I did it without AI. We didn't have AI. We didn't have ChatGPT. We didn't have any of that stuff. You're just kind of testing. Today, people can do it 10 times faster than you and I because they have better tools than we had. We didn't have these tools. The edge that we had is the audience we got are actually audience we worked very, very hard for. So that's the only disadvantage, guys that come in with money and they're thinking they're winning, but it's fake. You're not really winning.
Hey, we're about to get back into the podcast in just a second, but I have a question for you. Do you want to grow your personal brand this year? Do you need more leads and
How
sales
heavy are you
in your
today?
business? The
How
answer
light
is
are
yes,
you
then
today?
right now
How?
is the best time to go
Huh?
all in on YouTube.
How long can you do this for?
Brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com, where you can get on-demand access to a 1-hour deep dive training revealing how to start and grow a profitable YouTube channel this year. For a limited time, you can get access to this on-demand class entirely for free, where you will learn the 3 biggest mistakes that people make when starting a YouTube channel. The new rules and changes that have been happening on YouTube and how you can use them to create an unfair advantage. And the exact strategy we use at Think Media to generate over 350,000 organic views every single day. The data is clear. 70% of viewers claim that YouTube makes them more aware of new brands. So don't wait any longer to start growing your brand and business with YouTube. Just go to thinkmasterclass.com to get access to this no-fluff, highly tactical, free on-demand training. That's thinkmasterclass.com. We're going to talk about enemies in a second, but as the author of your next 5 moves, which just continues to grow more momentum, I was watching you when we were doing your elite coaching, and I'm learning, and you pull up your screen. You have multiple books on top charts right now, and that's one of my favorite books, your next 5 moves.
Leave it.
Knowing that you're always thinking moves ahead with a media company, with real fans, with real momentum. You mentioned a couple things, AI. If you summarized a few things, 2024, what moves are you thinking in media?
So for me, right now, what I'm thinking about. By the way, can you see Gloria's copy of the Choose Your Own Adventure somewhere? Or Sam, Sean, only thing when it comes down to all the companies. See? All I'm thinking about is thank you. All I'm thinking about right now is hiring 9s and 10s. What do I mean by that? Disney will be starting with us December 11th. I was in LA yesterday at Catch, sitting down with another executive who worked directly with somebody you definitely know. It's a Fortune 50 company. And these guys are very expensive hires. They're not cheap hires. The salaries are very expensive. So for me, I'm not accustomed to this yet, to hire people like this. But while I'm reading, Steven Schwarzman's Whatever It Takes, and this guy's a $30 billion guy, or you read No Rules, and you're seeing how these guys build their empires, they brought people in that they have to pay big dollars for. So we're getting the system of creating the culture with the right benefits to track those 8s, 9s, and 10s, and then at the same time, being able to give them an opportunity that maybe an Apple or a Disney or a Amazon or Netflix cannot offer because they're already $200 billion companies. So that $200 billion company being worth $1 trillion, do you want to wait 10 years? What if I come to a company that's worth $200 million and I take that company to be a $50 billion company? Holy shit, what is that equity worth? So I'm recruiting that talent to put a super team together. All I'm thinking about right now is putting our Avengers together. We don't have it yet, but that's what we're doing.
And maybe not everybody can get 9s and 10s, but build a team. Get some help.
100%. I think one of the things you did, like when I look at your eyes right now, it's different eyes than I see when I saw the eyes of 2 years ago. And I think you agree. You just turned 40 years old.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
But